I believe that those of you that's sitting here tonight, it's a different group that's on a Saturday night and on a Sunday. So I believe that you're well matured in the Word, and I don't have to explain these giftings and prophecy. I believe you know it, you understand it. But let me tell you about a different side when it comes to God's promises. God speaks to all of us. He speaks to us. We live in a time of information where right now you can type in intimacy and you can get 501 sermons about it. With it. We've got access to everything right now, instantly. Instantly. But even though we've got access to all these things, the main thing that we still lack is intimacy. Because you can't be intimate by listening to a sermon. You can't be intimate by spending hours on YouTube or on Facebook or whatever. Intimacy with God is connecting with the Spirit, connecting with Him. And it happens in the secret place before it happens in the public place. It happens when you're alone, when no one hears about it, in the stillness of the night, when no one sees you. That moment where God calls you and you've got that intimacy, that connection, where there's no impression. There's no one to impress, just God. I need you. I desire you. I want you. It's a completely different place than standing in front of people in the public. So we're living in a time where all of us can hear God's voice. All of us. If you would listen, you would speak. Every person can hear God's voice. Every person. But every person is not obedient to His voice. Now, let me say to you, when it comes to His voice, whether He speaks to you through a prophet, through an angel, through the Word, through a sermon, through a dream, through a vision, through however God speaks to you, through music, however He speaks to you, it is better for you not to receive or hear than being disobedient to that. Listen, there was a time where I desired every second person to prophesy to me. That stopped very quickly because I learned that in every prophecy is instruction as well. There's this great part of God's going to release blessings and finances in your life, and I'm going to take care of your children, and this, and then there's the instruction where He says, "But this is what I ask you to do. I ask you to trust in me alone." And that is the hook in what everything holds, or that keeps everything together. That's the thing that brings into fulfillment. And when we disobedient to that, then we get stuck in a season that, we know what we're supposed to do, but we didn't do it, and now we're stuck in it. And you're in a position where you have to wait for another breakthrough again. Now, the Lord has been speaking to me this season, this time, for the church where we are. And I want you to read with me in the book of 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 10. He says, "So friends, confirm God's invitation to you." So friends, confirm God's invitation to you. His choice for you. Don't put it off. Do it now. Do this, and you'll have your life on a firm footing, the streets paved and the way wide open into the eternal kingdom. So he talks about an invitation. He says, friends, what is the invitation? Now, if you listen to God's voice and prophecies and sermons, you need to understand God speaks through, the sermon that the pastor is preaching is prophetic. It's God's voice, God speaking. When the prophecy comes up, it's God speaking. It's the same thing. Not a difference between the sermon and the prophecy. It's the word that goes out. Exactly at the right time, exactly at the right moment. But in that word, there's an invitation. There's an invitation. We receive only by two ways. Only two ways. We receive by impartation or invitation. So only two ways we can receive. Impartation and invitation. And I really think, we're living in a time right now where impartation is a big thing. It's a major thing. I thank God for impartation. Now, impartation means that someone that has it can impart it. If you don't have it, you can't impart anything. So that's impartation. It's time for impartation. Many people are imparting to others right now. And, thank God for that. Because I said yesterday, if it wasn't for impartation, many Christians would have died. Many Christians won't survive the winter if it wasn't for impartation. And the problem with impartation is as soon as you become dependent upon that, you will live from impartation to impartation to impartation. And thank God again for that. You know, we need impartation. We need people to impart to us. But there's something else that's beyond that. It's called invitation. See, the invitation that God gives you, that word that goes out contains the power to manifest or bring that into fulfillment. And it's very unique to your situation, to your season, to your life, that invitation. And when you respond to that invitation, you set something in motion that brings supernatural breakthrough to your life. The problem with invitation is it only comes once in a season. Seasons is a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years. Problem is if you miss invitation in your season, you have to wait an entire season again to get that invitation. And then you get stuck in a place where your heart knows exactly where you need to be, but you're not there. It's frustrating, very frustrating. The good thing is when the invitation comes again, you're so prepared and ready for it when it comes again that you're going to jump into it because you've been going through a desert. Now, I don't believe that we have to go through those deserts in dry periods. I don't believe it. I believe we're living after the cross, and I believe that we can go into a spiritual season for the rest of our lives where things can be easy, blessed, our cups can overflow. We do not need winter anymore. We don't need it. We are experiencing winters, I'm talking about spiritual winters, because of disobedience. Because we missed the invitation. God opened the door and we didn't go through it. We doubted. We said no, and then we missed it. And then we get stuck in that place where it's uncomfortable. Now, those invitations, it's not corporate, it's an individual invitation. God speaks to you individually, where you are right now. God's saying, right now, what I ask you to do is this. I'm for prayer. I'm for fasting. I'm for that. But don't try to do it because someone else is doing it. If God tells you to fast, fast. If it doesn't speak to you about fasting, then don't do it. Because the only thing that you're going to get out of it is a headache. That other person is going to get a revelation, but you're going to get nothing out of it. But at that moment, when the word comes, whatever God's speaking to you, don't try to figure it out and get confirmation and reason it. When He speaks to you, respond. Just do it. Whatever He says, just do it. He says, I want you to pray at night. Pray. He says, go and fast. He says, give something. Give it. Don't think about it. Just give it. And try to work it out. Just respond. If He says, go to that place, go. If He says, get on a plane, get on a plane. If He says, phone that person, phone that person. Whatever He says at that moment, that word is an invitation and contains the power to set supernatural breakthroughs. If I could, I would plead with you tonight to respond to your invitations. Because it's the invitations that changes your life. That is what completely transforms your life. That. Peter says to Jesus, he sees Jesus walks on water, and he says to him, call me if it's you. Call me. And then he calls him, gives him an invitation. It is the invitation that empowers him to walk on water. Without the invitation, he can't do it. At that moment, all 12 disciples said he's the only one that's able to do it. Because he gave him an invitation, he called him. He called his son, calling you to do it. But now he calls you. And there's that invitation, and you have to respond. If you don't respond, you're going to miss it. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. It's better not to get an invitation than to get an invitation and miss it. The prophecies are full of invitations. The word tonight is full of invitations. The sermons that you hear every Sunday is full of invitations. Not just one, many invitations. As people are speaking, many things being said. And at that moment, you have to learn to respond. It is. I can't explain to you the power that's inside that. It contains that word. It contains the dynamo power to set it. It's an explosion that happens at the moment when you respond to that thing. God speaks to us about one thing. He says, I want you to do this, and then we miss it, and then we do other things that God didn't ask us to do. And we say, God, but I did all these great things. And God's saying, I didn't ask you to do those great things. Just do the one thing that I told you to do. So my question to you tonight is, what did God tell you? That's my question tonight is, what is God speaking to you about? You know, I minister to people and they say to me, Andre, it's amazing, you know, you're the 15th person that says this to me. How many people is it going to take for you to listen? It's not encouraging, it doesn't help me. It doesn't feel good. I'm thinking, you know, when are you going to respond? When are you going to do it? What did God tell you to do? Just move, just respond. I'm talking about these things because we are living this life right now. A week, 4 or 5 years ago, we were in Victoria, and God told us, He said, Andre, I want you to move to Mossel Bay. I said, yes, God, fine, we'll go. But we did nothing about it. We didn't say, we'll go, but let's continue. And then a month later again, God said, I want you to move. I said, yes, we're going to move. Already, I'm going to speak to my wife about it now. So 6 months later, since the Lord is saying you have to go to Mossel Bay. We're going to go, let's prepare, I don't know when, but some stage we're going to go. And I kept on for months and months and months. And then I came back from America one day and I landed. As I walked through customs, the Lord spoke to me and said, Andre, you're not allowed to go back to your home right now where you stay. You can go back there, you're not allowed to sleep there. You can take all your clothes, everything that you can take, but you will not sleep in that place again right now. You won't go back to that. If you go back to that home right now, you'll miss what I want to do. So I phoned my wife, I said, listen, back. Move right now. But then we can get in the car with you. No friendship, nothing, no, leaving. And we moved. Went to Mossel Bay. Mossel Bay is not a place that we went to vacation, but no clue what, I know it is on the map, I don't know anything about it. I don't know the place. We went into that place and God just started doing supernatural things. Supernatural things. Crazy things. But we had to respond, And God is very tolerant with weakness. Very tolerant. Very tolerant. But He doesn't allow wickedness. He's not tolerant with that. He's compassionate with our weakness. He will give us the opportunity again, and speak to us again, and again, and again, and again. And this is the things that I feel tonight God's been speaking to you. God said, I want you to do this. And this is what I ask you to do. Build. God, it's not the season to build right now. Build. No, it's not, we're going to build. Where are we going to get the money from? Build. And what you don't realize is that the resources is in that step of faith when you start. You lay the first brick, the resource comes. Buy 10 bricks and start to build. Throw the foundation, whatever you can. Just, you know, it's like a vehicle that's driving and you put the indicator on. If you're indicating that you will do it, God starts to bring breakthrough. Yeah. You don't even have to do it, just to indicate. Okay, God, I'll go in that direction. But I'm saying tonight, is start to put on your indicators. Of saying, God, I will gravitate to what you told me. I will move. You can sit here tonight and say, Andre, I don't know what you're exactly saying when God's talking to you. He's talking to you, and you know exactly what He's talking about. You're just waiting for another confirmation. That's all. You know from the Spirit, you know. You're one with Him in Spirit. You know exactly what He's asking. And you're saying, God, I don't want to know that. I want to know about this thing, but you don't realize that this thing is connected to that thing. And until you do this thing, you won't have the voice about that thing. It's connected. And God's saying, no, this is what I'm asking you. And speaking to you about the same thing over and over and over and over. He's saying, this is what I said. This is it. Get rid of this. Do this. Do this thing. There's people that are sitting here and you've got small limitations. It's something that's so insignificant, so easy to do it, but you haven't done it. Then there's other people that sit in this room tonight and you have big limitations. God put a huge mandate upon you. And He's saying, this is what I ask you to do. It's both with invitation. And both of it will release the supernatural power of God when you step into that. When you move into that direction, that place. Amen. You're tired. You stop. Amen. I'm going to stop here. We'll continue tomorrow with a word and minister to some of you. I'm going to pray with you right now that God would give you, that God would make the invitation clear. If there's any doubt or any uncertainty of what God is requiring or asking or speaking to you about right now, I'm going to pray with you right now that God would make it clear to you. That He would remind you about the things that I've said to you. That you would know that this is what I need to do right now. I need to be honest with you, you're not going to have more faith. You have to take the step of faith and move. You have to move. But we have to learn to respond to what God is saying. And it doesn't make sense. And it's not comfortable. Often it's uncomfortable. It's not easy that God to do. Don't think because it's inconvenience, not God. I want to share something prophetically tonight. You need to hear this. Don't let your current comforts keep you from the next season. Because you become comfortable in the breakthrough. And the breakthrough was something that you prayed for before. You needed it. Now you got that breakthrough and you got comfortable there. You said, okay, I don't have to trust now. I'm just going to stay here and stay low and I'm okay here now. You need to grow. And God's speaking to that place of where there's comfort. And you think it's comfort, but it's not. It's not comfort. So it's limited. Where God wants to take you is far greater than that. But He's saying, move. Get rid of that. No, I'm not going to get rid of that. First open the other door and then I'll get rid of this. No. A big business guy in Victoria came to me last week, took me to his farm, because the farm that he wants to sell for 80 million, ridiculous. And he comes to me, he says, I want you to put your hands on my land. If this land sells, I'll build you a church. I said, sir, this is not how God works. It's not God. You're trying to trade with God. It doesn't work that way. You do what God told you to do. If He told you to do it, you do that. That's what you do. And then you see what He does. God can use anyone to build a church, not just Him. He's looking for people that's obedient. That's what He's looking for. He wants to know that He has your heart. He wants to know that He has everything. He speaks about David. It says, I found David to be a man after my own heart because he will do everything that I tell him to do. That's why. We are growing to a place where we're becoming obedient to God, and He has to grow us to that place, but He has to start with something little. So God is saying, right now, what I require you to do is this. And it's so simple and so easy. And you're saying, God, no, trust me with more. God says, you need to be faithful with this. Be faithful here. Be faithful with this place. I grew up in a ministry in South Africa for 15 years. I served in a ministry that was in the middle of nowhere. No one knew about it. It was nothing. But God used that 15 years to train me and to prepare me for the world.
Yeah. Awesome.
There's no connection. There's no connection. It's not connected at all. But God is connected to that.
Yes.
The ministry is not connected with anything overseas. It's a local thing. No, but God used that place. He used those seasons to form you, develop you, teach you, train you. As Christians, we want to prepare for a moment, for a lifetime. God wants to take a lifetime to prepare us for a moment.
Yeah.
Everything is preparation. And that's why I'm saying to you, it's so important where you are right now to respond to what God is telling you, because He's been training you, preparing you for what He wants to do. It's very significant. The place where you are right now is more significant than you think. It's a very important place. And it's connected to the next season. You can quit your job and leave here, get another job, different job, same problem. That's right? So stop praying and saying, God, move me, shift me. No, just say, God, why am I here? Why did you place me here? What do you want to do with me? What is your will? And as you respond to that, you set something. It is a supernatural breakthrough that takes place because of your obedience there. Amen. Amen. Bless you. Let's pray. Please let your eyes. Thank you, Father, for every person in this room, Lord. I pray, God, as I speak, Lord, you would remind them, even tonight as they sleep, God, to remind them of the things that you've spoken to them about. Father, small steps that they need to take. And yet at the same time, people sitting in this building that need to take huge steps. Huge steps. Things that you're requiring from them, things that you ask them to do, Father, that's way beyond their capacity, Lord, but it's not beyond your capacity. You can do it. You're just looking for a vessel, just looking for a person, just looking for someone that's willing and obedient to do it. Father, I pray for faith and boldness for people to react and to respond to what you told them to do. To respond. Respond. I pray that in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. As I prayed for the city and people that's here tonight, God gave me a word for people that's in this room tonight. And And as I prayed, the Lord said to me, Andre, tell the people that diamonds cut diamonds. Some of you right now are sitting here and you have people in your life that is not affecting or changing your life in any way. They're not contributing to your life in any way. And yet at the same time, you're making no impact in their lives. Diamonds cuts diamonds. I'm sharing it with you because at this season, there's people here right now, you need to be careful who's around you. You have to look at relationships. I'm not saying we're cutting people off. We love people. But diamonds cut diamonds. And there's people that's around you, that you're connected with. There's people, and that's why it's so important. I'm not saying you need to be in a church. Because, people need to gut you. God has placed you in a place where there's someone that is pushing you. It's moving you to deeper things. Not someone who's just making it comfortable and convenient for you. Someone who's challenging you. It's cutting you. That's forming you. And there's some godly relationship that there's people, God uses relationships. He uses relationships. There's people that you met, you've got no idea how important they are for your future. They play a vital role. Even the life of Jesus, John. John and Jesus, they met each other in the valleys. Walked past each other, no clue they are. Yet later, it was John that awakened or baptized him or started his ministry. Physical, in the natural. And the Spirit says that when they walked, when they got connected, it says that the baby leaped. There was something that happened there that said, well, we have a destiny together. We're not birthed yet. We're not birthed yet, but we've got something here. There's a connection. That's what I'm saying. There's people right now that this relationship God's putting in your life, and it is healthy relationships. It's very important for the future and what God wants to do. It's very important. But we have to really be ready for that. Amen. Are you okay? You blessed? Okay, awesome. Thank you, Father, for this people, your people. Thank you, God, for the word that goes out and will not reach the void. Lord, I pray for every person where they are and what you want to do. Lord, we pray for your voice. That your voice will be clear to each and every one, to each and every person here tonight. I declare that in Jesus' name. Amen. Bless you. I want you to hear that this church, when I met Bruce, he was an evangelist. That's what it was. When I met him, he was an evangelist. That's what I saw from his life. But right now, there's something that's changing. The pastoral side is upon him. Not just pastoral, it's very apostolic. If Jesus was here today, we'd call him an apostle. And what he's carrying, he's not just stuck in one position. But right now, when it comes to this church will become a training facility to send people all over the world. There's many of you that's in this church, that's in the church that will minister. That will be evangelists, will go out. See, God is busy right now sending a team to go out. I see a team from this place going out into rural areas around here, and they go in. I see them put up a stage, and they have music there, and they lead people to God. And it will start locally here, but it will go over borders. It will go overseas as well. Same team. God will use them here in this nation, but also the same team will go overseas and go to places. God's right now this season is sending a team. He's sending a team, getting people ready, people that can pray, people that can minister, a whole team. So it's a preparation time for everyone, for this church, to be prepared to go out and to be sent. For this season, his life, he's here, but the time will come where you're going to travel again a lot. Next season, your second season, you'll travel again a lot. But this time you'll have a team. You'll have a big team that will go with you. And massive. I see that the team fills up the entire plane. All the team. So go with you to the nations and bring the word to them. And I see intercessors, a whole group who just pray. They just go to pray. They just need to pray. A whole team of intercessors will go with you on these trips and go and say the word. Okay? Amen. God's going to do something in this city once again. The thing that I spoke earlier about the letter that's being signed, how it's in favor of the city. They're going to build once again in the city. They're going to build again. There's buildings, developments. It's going to happen. For years, this city is still begin staan. but the development is starting again in the city. And people, there's many people that left here because of work. I see God will bring the work back and people will also come back. So don't be negative about the city. God's busy building. There's a lot of construction will take place. I hear God saying that if you have land, hold on to it. Don't sell it. If you have land, don't sell it. Hold on to it. Because there's many people that want to sell right now because of fear of the economy. Hold on to that land. And if you can, or in the capacity to buy more land, I will even encourage you to buy land. Because God's going to pick up the city again. Construction will happen once again. Major buildings, I saw skyscrapers. So big buildings, high buildings, that's coming up. And then with that buildings, people moving back again. It's from Kimberley that it moved to different places because of work. So work is happening again. God's doing some in the city, within this region. There is something that that people that's here that people don't see. There's a commodity. There's something that's here that people don't recognize, don't see. They look at all the other things. Like all the other stuff that's happening, farming and the mining and that. There's something else in this region that's not discovered yet. And it's very insignificant right now. People don't see it, but God hid it. I saw Him hid it away. Because if people would have found it, they would have destroyed it. And, so God hid it for a time. The time is coming now where He's going to open up again. He's going to bring a lot of people back. A lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities again. And then the development is coming. He said, God's hand is upon the city. Let me tell you, there's people in this city that prayed. There's people in this city that prayed. Really prayed over this land. There's sacrifices. And if I say sacrifice, I'm not talking about the negative things. I'm talking about sacrifices, covenants that's been made on this land with God. And God's going to keep His covenant with this area, with this region. Okay, so don't be discouraged. We will pick it up. Okay, amen. I release it. When it comes to the prophetic, when we speak it, the word goes out and it starts to create that. So in obedience tonight, I just speak the word. I release the word, obedience to God. And that word will start to build that skyscraper. That word will go out. It will start to bring the bricks and the people and everything will start to go up. It's not just one. Many tall buildings, will come up and will be here once again. Many buildings. Okay.